That's right.
Life cycle.
So I manage 150 hives, put them out for pollination,
1,000 eggs,
and I get paid for those.
Workers.
And then I come to events like this and show people about bees. Pollinating bee or the other pollinators, bees, butterflies, bats, birds.
So there's about,
you would lose about a third to half of the crop that is made. So we put the bee out, they get about a third to a quarter, a half more product out of the bloom. So that is billions of dollars worth of nuts. And without that, you know, we would be hard pressed for food because we've become now dependent on all of this food. Less acreage, more food.
We grow about 1.5 million acres of almonds in California today, and it takes about 2 hives per acre. So about 3 million hives to pollinate the almond crop every year. Well, every almond exists because of a pollinator, because the almond flower has to be pollinated. One of the things we worked on for years is making sure that when the commercial honeybees are here during the bloom, mid-February to early March, that we're doing everything possible to protect them in the orchard. Most recently, some of our efforts have been to help growers afford to buy pollinator habitat seed and plant that in their orchards, either within the rows between the trees or in hedgerows around the orchards. To really promote native pollinator habitat has many benefits for the grower.
We've had this native garden here about 5 years, and it's kind of a way of bringing people into the garden to learn about the benefits of restoring habitat. And so I wanted to have an event where the community could come out and learn about the pollinators that are coming here now and about the plants that they prefer. It was a way for me to get people more in tune with what the garden really does instead of just pretty flowers. People could create little habitats around their yards or even in their neighborhoods. That would really help. They could also learn more and spread the word, because, you know, we just need to educate our citizens. A lot of people, they think if they go into a nursery and buy a cute plant that looks pretty, that it's going to be, they've done their job for pollinators, and that really isn't true, because some pollinators need specific plants to reproduce. They might get nectar from a plant, but they won't reproduce using it. So there is something, a learning curve when it comes to natives.
In January, well before the bloom, they're all going to come here to California, almost all of them, because we need them to pollinate the crop here. And the commercial honeybees would also tell you it's their main source of income these days, more so than making honey or pollinating any other crop. Because of the demand, supply and demand, they're able to charge a hefty amount to the growers here to pollinate the crop. I think roughly on average about $200 per hive per acre. So 2 hives per acre would be about $400 per acre to pollinate the crop. It's one of the highest input costs today in growing almonds. You think of water, certainly there's a cost of water, but actually pollination is more expensive.
We have this little dance between the grower and the beekeeper to make sure that we can supply the bees and that they are careful. They have to plant wildflowers if they can to give us the opportunity to have food for the bees during the early spring, because there's no flowers. But without the bee, they're in trouble. We're all in trouble.